Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back, you lovely faces, to another video here on the channel. Well, there's been so much drama going on the set and behind the scenes of the CW show Batwoman. I didn't watch, I watched like one episode, and that was because I actually do like Ruby Rose, but obviously so much stuff has come out recently regarding it. You know, she put out that she left the set, last year, it was all willy-nilly, it was all together. Yeah, we parted ways. Yeah, we're good with no problems. Nothing's going on. But over the last week, we have seen so much stuff come out from Ruby Rose and Warner Brothers basically backing up against her and saying, "Oh, you're lying," which is Warner Brothers and CW kind of know exactly what they're like. And there's been so much misconduct, allegations against her, toxic behaviour on the set from the director and the showrunners. There's absolutely tons of it. Well, obviously, with Ruby Rose coming out and then Warner Brothers coming back with a statement saying, "No, she was wrong. This happened." Well, this actually happened. So, Ruby Rose doubles down on claims. She has posted emails and messages. So basically, at this moment in time, it looks like she has the receipts. Public War of Worlds now apparently receipts between ex-Batwoman star Ruby Rose and Warner Brothers TV Group, while as the producers and others involved with the first season of the Arrowverse series over Rose's accusations of an overall unsafe and unhealthy working environment. So, coming days after co-star Cameron Johnson and a reported production assistant pushed back on her claims, the actor took to Instagram and, so stories, not actual Instagram, to begin releasing emails and messages to support her allegations, though to be clear, none of what's been released has been officially confirmed. So these are what we got first. So Ruby Langenham to Carol Bodie. So honestly, Carol, I'm so close to being done with this show. Between the Atmos, the BS, the investigation, surgery, I'm really about to walk. Send from Bathphone. I won't take crumbs, do better. Use the situation as a way to change the industry and the world. But keep up the smear campaign because it only fires me up to continue this when that's the last thing I wanted. I'm so sorry this is. So we got Ruby again saying, "I meant to walk today until I can get my breath and have a talk with SAG and or Greg and just everyone except maybe Caroline to work this whole thing out. I don't know about walking from the show for good, maybe I want to, but I fear huge consequences." This isn't even in the report. Just reminding you I'm still here, and you have an opportunity to change things. Thank you. So there's a Greg Baltani, the guy behind it and everything else. So thank you, your gorgeous orchard. You are so thoughtful, but the real gift is your amazing performance and hard work. Very thankful for your talent and kindness. Have an amazing time off, and congrats on such a wonderful success this year. XO Greg. I actually like Greg. I still want to believe he has a human side. So this is but again, not in the report because the report is, wow, way too intense, to have to release. But my work ethic was never questioned until I was injured and walked and stayed and was fired. Yeah, so she actually had to have surgery on her throat, which we will see in a bit. Next up, Rose turned the focus on the showrunner, Caroline Dries, writing that she was deciding between releasing Caroline's email about not being an LGBT activist or feminist. She then shared an email where Rose addressed the matter of yelling on the set, and Dries' response, calling into question Dries' handling of the matter and her looking to director Holly Dale for advice. Dale was not directing the episode during which the behaviour took place. So Caroline was just like, I gotta get someone else to take the heat. Off to bed. Deciding between releasing Caroline's email about not being an LGBT activist and feminist, but saying she could be one for others through the show. I.e., monetizing this is how she found a desire to make people feel included. Or the email exchanges when I did leave and the truth in that from all three of them. Let me give them time to act privately, which is all I wanted. Mediation, not litigation. Appropriately, which should be fast, considering when I went to hire a litigation lawyer, Greg had hired them all. The plot thickens. I love my crew, they just can't speak out because of NDAs. Also, last night on set was absolutely catastrophic. I don't know if it's Dermot or what or who or how, but people were yelling at each other and walking off set, and it was so stressful. Eddie was like a piece of scotch tape on the side of a Titanic. This might sound like a very strange ask, but is there a way to have a no yelling at crew or production or anyone, rule on set? Just a no yelling rule. That's a Joe Roth rule on his films, just to keep the love and patience up, the morale up. It's stressful and hard enough on the crew and actors pulling all-nighters and 16-hour days and 14-hour camera days without people losing their temper and getting aggressive. I felt like I had to be the comedic relief for cast and crew and camera and the whole room, which is fine, but I'm tired, and it just makes all our jobs a little harder. Going from there. So also, as a showrunner who I went to about a no yelling memo, to then offload it to a director who wasn't even directing that episode. Also, a PA got a concussion that day and an extra got hit in the head with a crane. So many bad things happening on this set. It's madness that they even allowed it to carry on. So, Jerry told me about that. I'm relieved to hear you found a way to keep some comic relief, because usually it's the number one doing the yelling. Yelling at crew is unnecessary times 100. I have never had to raise my voice at work once in my career. People need some coping skills. Holly, how do you deal with this? From what I gleaned, it was Dermot and a reaction to stress time crunch. Then you got this by here. So, Alice was an actual PA. The person in that article isn't on one call sheet. I checked 3 months' work. She has literally gone back and forth so much. She's done her homework. So Warren walked off set. Also, I knew about Alice. I kept trying to get her to get help, and she wouldn't. It was bad. Caroline sent me an email, and I haven't responded yet because I feel like I need to really say my piece. This is awful. Also, traffic's so horrific. I'm going to be late. I'm stressing. Ruby Rose from here. To Cam, to heal perfectly and not have issues later. They wanted me to shoot 2 covers this week, but there was just not a chance in hell I could get into that suit and not absolutely crash. So hopefully it will all work out. Surgery on the neck. Gonna have a sick scar, lol. The sickest scar, lol. As I was reading the covers part, I went, oh nah, out loud. So I'm glad you turned them down for now. That crap would have sucked. Exactly right. Heal up the right way and you'll be back to playing in no time. Dope. P.S. I still shot those 2 covers. How silly to think I had an option. More on that tomorrow. Didn't do it for me. I didn't need them. I'd already shot the previous EW cover. But 6 days after surgery was when they wanted me to shoot. Oof. Those emails are heartbreaking, but say a lot. Then it comes into more emails. And as you can see, it's just so much. It's absolutely crazy when you see that what's going on here. Then we got the emails between Carol and Colwell lawyer to Ruby. We must do the call next week as Warner Brothers is under immense pressure from the stunt crew, otherwise there'll be litigation. Peter Roth is checking your work schedule for next week to see when this call can be scheduled. Why am I not suing them? I mean, Jesus. The stunt crew are a bunch of idiots. It's because of the main guy's dad and his ego. He's a horrible man. It's very obvious this isn't a third-party independent lawyer, which is why I want to go through SAG-2 and have them do their investigation. So, with this here, the stunt crew are a bunch of idiots. It's because of the main guy's dad and his ego. It seems to be a lot of these things at the moment where accidents are happening. It's because their fathers are legends in the industry and their children are getting jobs which they don't deserve. That's what seems to be happening here. So, don't get me wrong, I have nothing to hide and I would love to get the money back, but I'm also underslept and under immense pressure to do my job, and this is just another thing on top of it that should not come before the show. So that was Ruby to Carol again. Now we got Carol back. That's fine, you should go through SAG-2, but we won't be able to put off the call as that will be viewed as not cooperating with the investigation. They've been trying to schedule for the past 2 weeks, but I said no during the crossovers. We must talk to his lawyer as we've accused them. You have nothing to worry about. What happened, and they just need to hear from you. Howard and I will be on the call too. So, wait until the busiest time of the season, crossovers, to investigate my injury. Only to do this to me the whole time, I spent a week getting 0 sleep, collecting x-rays, emails, professional opinions, only for my team later to be told they have decided to end the investigation before the PI finalises the report and will not share the outcome. Again, these Warner Brothers, they all seem to be the same. We've seen this now with... you had Ray Fisher on the Justice League set, and obviously you've had so many people come forward with so many allegations against Warner Brothers. People are getting hurt on these sets, and obviously, like we said, an extra got hit in the head with a crane. They're paralysed. They can't walk. Surgery was the 18th of June. So, Dear Ruby, this was from Danica Smith. Attached to the EW Comic-Con concept of the Comic-Con issue. First issue for EW when they go monthly. The overall concept is a heroes fighting through peril, with lighting that is colourful, sexy and kinetic. So see attached for inspirations. You will not be wearing the cowl or wig, obviously from what's going on there. They wanted me to shoot 2 covers starting the 24th. 5 days after surgery, and 1,000 emails a day every day after my surgery to do with work. There was not 1 day of downtime. Immense pain pills as well, I assume, because of what the surgery she had, and they expect her to go back and just literally, like that, get into work. I declined and they told me the whole Arrowverse would be affected, because just like the year before, without me they would lose the whole cover for the show and cast, like I said. So they'll not be able to get together to shoot the crossover cover by this Sunday. Good news, they will give us a cover for you for the Batwoman launch. Don't mention to other cast, they were not told, as the cover was based around you. You get you a whole Sunday back and cover for your series. Win-win. So they wouldn't fly a photographer to Vancouver to not lose the cover for the leads of all the Arrowverse shows, but made me fly back to LA, and when I said I couldn't wear the costume, yet they agreed and later said, you have to. Everyone else did. This is all in the first couple of weeks of surgery. It's crazy what they've gone through. And as you can see, there's so much on here. Small example how I was treated, and my injury was treated every day from the day I woke up. From surgery, you don't want to know what it was like on set, trust me. You got this one by here. They would like you in costume for video questions. Everyone else did these, so you gotta be doing it. Oh, how kind. We can do hair and makeup and not in costume. Great. It's just crazy. People knew everywhere. So, okay, and I take it, you hide the surgery, right? So Emmy and EW don't know, or they do know, but they're being kind and not writing about it. That's from Ruby to Danica Smith, Lauren Woods, and a few other people are put in. The writers don't know. The photo department knows that Emmy and EW is a Warner Brother legal thing. But as you can see, it just goes off. There's so much things here. Under investigation, which I had thought was to help me to prevent those stunt accidents from happening. Shooting 5 different shows at once for the crossover. I also had my press trip on my one scheduled day off. We were doing 6-day weeks, so I'd actually worked 14 days in a row. Mr. Peter Roth had another favour, which of course I did. When was I difficult? When was I not hard working? If anything, I was a zombie at this point. Now it goes into more where this person here is supposedly an assistant. This gets weird. This an assistant hired by Warner Brothers for me towards the end of the season. Hello, Carol. My name is Joel. Whatever. I'm Ruby's on-set personal assistant on the set of Batwoman. As you have most likely heard from Ruby already, we had atmosphere and dust on set today. Due to the levels of smoke in the congested area, there was difficult airflow in the area, and Ruby had some trouble breathing. She just had surgery on her throat. Of course, she's going to have issues. Her chest tightened and her throat swelled up, and she was having difficulty breathing. She wanted to know what the TWA factor was in the room to detect if it was safe to actually be working in those conditions. A meter device should be able to tell you what the factor is for each scene, but I was told they didn't have a device on set to test this out. The studio itself also has poor ventilation, so the airflow was having trouble leaving the space. But then they go on to say that they never actually had any of it. It's, safety gun from Warner Brothers comes and it turns out we don't even have the simple machine, or airflow, or follow any of the atmospheric SAG rules. It's absolutely just a shambles on this movie set, this TV series. As you can see, safety issues and other things. testing wasn't done because I was the one who made them get the machine you need to test it. So, Ruby, see the odd email I received from your assistant below? I'm still not totally clear on what he's talking about. In the meantime, I've reached out to Jay, who acknowledged that you're super sensitive to TWA, and they were figuring out what to do to help you. From her assistant. That's how they did it. Oh, we had two hair and makeup women go to hospital because of this, and a prop guy faint on set. Wow. It's just a shambles. You know, everything they've done regarding it. And this is one of the interesting ones now, because this guy here, they're saying he's a production assistant, and he described Rose as a dictator, tyrant, and all this kind of stuff. And Ruby Rose, hello, Alexander Baxter. I'm having trouble finding anyone from Batwoman that remembers you. You are not on a single call sheet under any department, but definitely not under PA. And you are not even on the IMDb in reference to the show, which, anyway, I will be reading your statement out later today or tomorrow on my Instagram to discuss how to spot a very bad attempt at a smear job studio plant. My favourite part is that I asked for 5 heaters in the middle of spring for a green room that didn't exist because I'm Australian. It's, when you see all of that, it's like, holy hell, what is going on over there? It's just nuts, everything about this is just absolutely disgusting. But it carries on. So, this is from Deadline from 2 days ago. So, Warner Brothers TV defends Dougray Scott following further social media allegations from Ruby Rose. Warner Brothers stepped in to defend actor Dougray Scott after his former Batwoman co-star Ruby Rose made further accusations via social media. The studio has called Scott, who played her father on the series, a consummate professional, stated there have never been any allegations against him of this or this on his part. The studio also reiterated that Rose was fired over multiple complaints about workplace behaviour. Like we were seeing with the guy coming out saying that she was a dictator on set. We condemn the comments made by Ruby Rose about Dougray Scott. Warner Brothers has found Mr. Scott to be a consummate professional, and they've never received any allegations against him. So they did not pick up Ruby Rose's option for an additional season because of multiple complaints about workplace behaviour that were extensively reviewed by the studio. Well, if they were, we need to see emails and stuff regarding it. So obviously it's after she doubled down on social media, blasting Scott and threatening legal action. Dougray, I have too many witnesses coming forward with worse than just your anger issues, but you suing me for $10 million because Greg shared his lawyer with you, please. Come first so I can use the money from that case to take on Greg and myself. $10 million. Dougray Scott is going to try and sue her for $10 million. Even though, like I say, we've seen a lot, but we haven't seen it all. It's absolutely mad how much stuff Ruby Rose has brought out with the emails, text messages, with the stories like that, the smear job by the studio, by the plant. It's just mind-blowing of how bad this set is. And it just seems to be getting worse. Because with Warner Brothers, we have seen a lot. And I mean a lot of issues. Not just with the TV series, but we're seeing it with Fantastic Beast films. We've seen it with Aquaman. We are seeing it with Justice League. We are seeing it with, not Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Josh Whedon's Justice League. There's just so much stuff going on. It actually kind of makes you think, well, Warner Brothers, you seem to be guilty of all of this because you've got so many actors and so many people coming from different directions all having a go at you. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see each and every one of you soon.